Are you still eating eggs with milk? Or with potatoes, cheese, maybe even with orange juice? Then this video is for you. Today we'll discuss the most dangerous combinations with eggs. Some of them can cause bloating, heaviness, digestive issues, and you won't even realize where it came from. And it's all because of a simple breakfast. It will be interesting and unexpected. Let's go. Milk. It seems, what could be more natural and beneficial than the classic combination of eggs and milk? Many of us have been accustomed to milk omelets since childhood, but here's the paradox. Nutritionists warn that this seemingly perfect pair can create real digestive chaos in your body. The thing is, eggs and milk are two powerful sources of protein that our stomach digests in completely different ways. Egg protein is absorbed quite quickly, whereas milk casein requires significantly more time and digestive resources. When these foods meet in one meal, they engage in a sort of tug-of-war for the attention of your digestive system, which often leads to a feeling of heaviness, bloating, and other unpleasant symptoms. But the problems don't end there. Both products are extremely rich not only in proteins, but also in fats. Their combined consumption creates a real nutritional bomb that can overload the pancreas, cause discomfort in people with sensitive digestion, and even contribute to weight gain with regular consumption. Those who should be especially cautious with this combination are people watching their figure, those with gastrointestinal diseases, and those who have difficulty digesting dairy products. Modern research confirms, to get the most benefit from these products, it's better to consume them separately, with at least a 1 to 2 hour break. And what about the famous milk omelet? Nutritionists advise replacing whole milk with a small amount of water, or plant-based milk. This way, the dish becomes significantly easier to digest while retaining all its tenderness and fluffiness. Remember, even the healthiest foods can become harmful if combined incorrectly. Listen to your body. It will always guide you to the combinations that are optimal for you. With fermented dairy products, it's not all that simple either. Let's talk about cheese. Cheese. Cheese and eggs are true powerhouses of proteins and fats, which are undoubtedly important for the body. But consuming them together can lead to excessive strain on the digestive system. Both products are highly nutritious, but due to their rich composition, their combination creates a double portion of proteins and lipids, which is not always beneficial, especially if consumed in large quantities. For people with sensitive stomachs, weak intestines, or chronic gastrointestinal diseases, such a combination can lead to unpleasant consequences, heaviness in the stomach, bloating, or even exacerbation of existing issues. The fact is that fatty and protein-rich foods require a long time to digest. And when these components are consumed simultaneously in significant amounts, the body has to work at its maximum capacity. Therefore, despite the taste and benefits of each product individually, their combined consumption should be monitored, and in the presence of digestive disorders, it should be minimized, favoring lighter and more balanced combinations. And now let's turn to something everyone loves. Let's talk about sweets. Sweets. Imagine freshly made fluffy scrambled eggs with crispy bacon, and a piece of tender sponge cake with cream next to it. Appetizing? Absolutely. Healthy? Now that's a big question. The thing is, the combination of eggs, which are rich in proteins and fats, with sugar-containing desserts creates a real storm in your digestive system. When proteins from eggs, which require an acidic environment for digestion, and fast carbohydrates from desserts, which start breaking down in the mouth, enter the stomach simultaneously, your body literally goes into a stupor. These processes interfere with each other, leading to slow and incomplete digestion, increased gas production, and spikes in blood sugar levels. You feel as if you have a whole brick in your stomach. Some specific combinations are particularly insidious. If you are mindful of your diet, you should avoid having an omelet with sweet pastries, poached eggs with syrup or jam, and scrambled eggs for dessert accompanied by everyone's favorite pancakes with jam. So how do you do it right if you really want both? First, eat the egg dish, take a 40-minute break, and then enjoy the dessert with peace of mind. However, pastry lovers shouldn't worry. Eggs in desserts, for example, in dough or cream, are a completely different story, as their structure changes during cooking, making the combination more acceptable. And now we move on to the next unexpected pair. Eggs and fish. Who would have thought? Fish. At first glance, the combination of eggs and fish seems like the perfect protein cocktail. Both products are on the list of superfoods, rich in omega-3s, and are considered the standard of proper nutrition. But here's the paradox. When these two champions of health meet on the same plate, they turn into the worst enemies of your metabolism. The fact is, fish contains special enzymes that conflict with egg proteins, creating a true battle of titans in your digestive tract. The most significant blow is dealt to vitamin B7, a crucial element responsible for luxurious hair, strong nails, and glowing skin. Studies show that when these products are consumed together, the absorption of biotin drops by 30 to 40%, effectively nullifying all their benefits. But that's not all. Such a combination can block the absorption of iron from fish and vitamin E from eggs, creating a deficiency of these critically important substances in the body. This combination is especially dangerous for pregnant women and people with problematic skin. Nutritionists recommend taking at least a 3-hour break between consuming fish and eggs. This way, you will get the maximum benefit from each of these products. Can potatoes be paired with eggs? Let's find out. Potatoes. What could be tastier than fries with fried eggs or a delicate omelette with mashed potatoes? However, nutritionists are sounding the alarm. This gastronomic combination can do a disservice to your body. It turns out that the humble potato contains special mineral compounds that act as anti-nutrients. They literally block the absorption of valuable iron from eggs and calcium, which is very important for bones. But that's not all. Together, these products create a real calorie bomb. Eggs provide proteins and fats, and potatoes provide fast carbohydrates, which together deliver a powerful blow to the pancreas and can cause a sharp spike in blood sugar. This combination is especially dangerous for diabetics, people with anemia, and those who are watching their weight. After all, the calorie content of this dish rises to 500 kilocalories. If you think that giving up your favorite combination is an impossible mission, then you can resort to the following methods. Add greens. Parsley neutralizes the effect of anti-nutrients. Use young potatoes, as they contain less starch. Or cook without frying, since baking preserves more nutrients. Our next topic is fatty foods. Fatty foods. Golden fried eggs. Cooked in oil, accompanied by crispy bacon. A classic breakfast that makes your mouth water. But did you know that this delicious combination is a real challenge for your digestive system? When egg yolks enter the stomach at the same time, which already contain a sufficient amount of fat, along with a side like fried potatoes or bacon, your liver literally goes into panic mode. The body is forced to simultaneously produce bile to break down fats and gastric juice to digest proteins, leading to a real digestive collapse. The consequences of such a gastronomic crime manifest quickly. A heaviness comparable to the feeling of a stone in the stomach, unpleasant bloating, and fermentation, heartburn, and belching. All of this won't take long to appear. You might even experience a headache caused by intoxication from incomplete digestion. This situation is especially dangerous in the evening when metabolism slows down. If you really want eggs with potatoes, replace fried potatoes with baked ones. And instead of sunflower oil, use a non-stick pan. Add some greens to the dish. Parsley or cilantro will help the liver handle the load. Rice. What could be more harmless than the combination of eggs with rice? However, this is a real time bomb. Actions for your digestive system. When in the stomach, eggs, which are digested in an acidic environment, and rice, which needs, are also included at the same time. An alkaline environment. The body enters a real metabolic conflict. Instead of the coordinated work of digestive enzymes, real chaos begins. The pancreas is forced to work in emergency mode. The liver becomes overloaded with toxins from incomplete protein breakdown, and the intestines receive a cocktail of partially digested components. This combination is especially dangerous in the morning when the digestive system is not yet operating at full capacity. You risk getting not a boost of energy, but a heaviness in the stomach and a foggy head for the entire day. Experts advise either separating the consumption of these products with a 2 to 3 hour break, or adding a large amount of greens to them, and fermented vegetables, which help mitigate the negative effect. Citrus fruits. A freshly made fluffy omelet, accompanied by a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice. Seems like the perfect breakfast? Not quite. This combination is a volatile mix for your stomach. The acids from citrus fruits, citric, ascorbic, react with egg proteins creating an aggressive environment in the stomach. People especially suffer with sensitive gastrointestinal tracts. They may encounter a whole array of issues, from mild discomfort to a full-blown stomach rebellion, with heartburn, bloating, and sharp pains. But why does this happen? The thing is, citrus fruits sharply increase the acidity of gastric juice, and egg proteins in such an environment coagulate too quickly. This all leads to the formation of dense clumps that are difficult to digest. This combination is especially dangerous on an empty stomach. And for people with gastritis or peptic ulcers, it's even more important to avoid such dishes. This combination should also not be included in a child's menu. But if you really want both, then you need to take a short break of about 40 minutes. You can distract yourself with something. For example, watch a few educational videos on this channel. Let's turn to a not-so-healthy product. Mayonnaise. Of course, eggs with mayonnaise is a classic combination, familiar to everyone, especially in salads like Olivier or mimosa, but this duo by itself is not the best choice for a daily diet. Why? First of all, it's a real caloric bomb, where the fats from the yolk are multiplied by the fats from the mayonnaise, creating a serious burden on digestion. Secondly, such a combination is empty calories, minimal benefit, maximum heaviness in the stomach. And let's be honest, without other ingredients, it really is bland in taste, dull, cloying, and certainly doesn't evoke culinary delight. But here's what's interesting. In salads, this tandem reveals itself completely differently. Add crunchy cucumbers, tender boiled carrots, greens, or at least a handful of green peas, and mayonnaise with eggs stop being the main characters, turning into juicy supporting actors. The tartness of an apple, the piquancy of mustard, or the freshness of dill radically change the situation. The secret is in the balance. If you dilute the heaviness with fiber and vitamins, the dish becomes both tastier and safer for the stomach. So the problem isn't in the combination itself, but in how it's served. Should you eat eggs generously drenched in mayonnaise on their own? Definitely not. But should you completely give up your favorite salads? Also no. The main thing is to know moderation and complement them with the right ingredients. And now you'll find out why eating a banana with an egg is a bad idea. Bananas. It would seem that eggs and bananas are two popular and healthy products. However, their combination in one meal can become a real challenge for your body. The fact is that eggs, rich in proteins and fats, require an acidic stomach environment for digestion, whereas bananas, containing fast carbohydrates, are better absorbed in the alkaline environment of the small intestine. When these products meet in the stomach at the same time, a kind of conflict of interest arises. Digestive enzymes start to work less effectively, which can lead to unpleasant consequences, bloating, heaviness, and for people with sensitive digestive systems, even heartburn or an upset stomach. It is especially risky to combine these foods on an empty stomach or in large quantities. It is important to understand that we are talking specifically about consuming them together. If you take a break of 1.5 to 2 hours between eating eggs and bananas, problems usually do not arise for those who still want to combine these products in one dish. For example, in a diet breakfast, experts recommend adding neutral ingredients, oat flakes, chia seeds, or yogurt, which help to smooth out this digestive dissonance. Sometimes even a glass of water can be harmful. Don't turn off the video and find out why. Water. Eggs are a product rich in proteins and fats, and therefore their digestion requires significant effort from the body. When we eat eggs, the digestive system releases a special set of enzymes designed to break down this nutritious but rather heavy product. However, if during or immediately after a meal, you drink a lot of water, the liquid will dilute the stomach acid, reducing the concentration of necessary enzymes and acids. As a result, the digestion process will slow down and the nutrients will not be absorbed as effectively as they could be. This is especially important to consider for those whose digestion is not perfect to begin with. An excess of liquid in such a case can provoke a feeling of heaviness, bloating, or even heartburn. Of course, this doesn't mean you should completely refrain from drinking, but it's better to take small sips and not overindulge in water immediately after eating, giving the body time to process the food consumed. The optimal option is to drink a glass of water 20 to 30 minutes before a meal, eating or an hour after, so as not to interfere with the natural digestive process. Is a momentary pleasure worth long-term consequences? Remember, your digestion is not a waste incineration plant. Take care of it, and it will reward you with lightness and excellent well-being. As a bonus, I'll tell you what eggs can and should be combined with. Beneficial combinations. Eggs are rightly considered one of the most nutritious breakfast foods. They are rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. However, they lack fiber, a crucial component of a healthy diet that improves digestion, supports intestinal function, and provides a lasting feeling of fullness. To make an egg breakfast truly balanced, it is worth complementing it with foods rich in dietary fiber. For example, a classic scrambled egg can be served with whole grain toast or a flatbread, and spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, or mushrooms can be added to an omelet. If you prefer boiled eggs, a great addition would be avocado, a fresh salad, or a slice of whole grain bread. But the possibilities don't end there. Eggs pair wonderfully not only with vegetables but also with other sources of fiber, such as nuts and seeds, or oatmeal. Additionally, since eggs contain almost no carbohydrates, they can be combined with slow-digesting carbs that will provide the body with energy for the entire day. Ideal options include buckwheat porridge, quinoa, lentils, or beans. Even regular oatmeal with a poached egg can turn into a nutritious and filling dish, and a sandwich with whole grain bread, egg, and vegetables becomes a complete snack. Thus, eggs are a versatile base for countless combinations that not only diversify the menu but also make it as healthy as possible. The key is not to limit yourself to just proteins and fats, but to add fiber and carbohydrates so that your meal is not only tasty, but truly nutritious. Conclusion. If you've watched until the end, you're a hero. Write in the comments which combination surprised you the most. And don't forget to share this video with a friend who eats eggs with bananas.